Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ashley Mayer. I'm the Head of Residential Lettings at Churchill's, and thank you very much for coming this evening. Just to set the agenda for this evening, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to start by talking about what's been going on in the York property market. It's been an interesting 20 years or so, I'll start off by going about what my expectations are of what's going to be going in the next 20 years. Then we have, what's going to happen is we're going to have Amanda coming from Calvert Smith doing a accountant's update in terms of property tax. We'll break for about 15-minute loo break, and then we'll have Phil from Penn Life doing a mortgage market update, and subsequently I'll be doing the lettings legal update. Well, after that we'll have a few canapes as well at the end, so no one need go hungry. Anyway, so without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get started on what I've seen happen in the York property market. As I said, it's been an interesting 20 years. One of the first things I looked at was what's been happening in the last 20 years, specifically what's happened to property prices since 1998 to date. This is a graph of property prices since 1998. Back in June, the average York property would set you back around about £62,000. Whereas as at June 2018, so 20 years on, the average property price is around about 249, 250 grand. They're the stats there. Now, interestingly, if the same £61,808 put into a bank or building society would generated you a return of about £122,046. And the stock market would have generated you a return of £85,029. So in terms of the stock market, this is specifically relatively low risk shares. What that tells me is that property as an asset class has far more capital growth potential, or has had anyway, within the last 20 years. So much so that property prices in York, property values in York have increased since 1998 by 303.41%. I also looked at what properties were doing, York property prices were doing in comparison to other areas of Yorkshire, and what you'll see is capital growth has been rather significant over other areas. I was quite surprised actually that York has outperformed Harrogate as an area as well, but there we have those are the figures. Next, I looked at average selling prices since 1998, and I found that this is quite interesting. Clearly you've got the green line, which is the detached properties. You've got your semis, which are in yellow, terrace red, flats in blue, and the purple representing the average. Evidently, the detached homes are generally the most expensive. Something I found quite interesting was that actually you see this like an ECG graph. And the seasonality in terms of the peaks and the troughs are generally 12 months apart, and that for me is indicative of seasonality. What I also find quite interesting is you can see here, like post-crash, the types of property that were most influenced by the crash and generally by the seasonality, seemingly are the detached properties. Figures split down by type, so since September 1998 to September 2018, the types of properties which have seen the greatest level of capital growth in York are the terraced homes, which makes sense because it makes a substantial proportion of the housing market in York. I then looked at the number of properties sold in York. Again, something I found quite interesting. You can see, again, from over a 20-year period, these kind of peaks and troughs are like 12 months apart, again, indicative of seasonality. The types of properties that seemingly sell in most are the yellow ones being semi-detached, red being your terraced properties. Incidentally, I'm not sure if anyone's aware, but something else I realised was this little line. Is anyone aware what that might be? Any takers? Go on, Dolly, you tell us.
changing stamp duty to the
Bingo,
3%.
yeah. That's it. So all new landlords, when you're trying to complete on all the sales of your property, or trying to buy the property, that will be where there's this massive spike, and then back in April, then it seems to just drop off a cliff. So I thought that was quite interesting. Where are we at now? Hang on. There we go. Just some other stats here. Property prices, property values in York are 8.09% higher than they were 2 years ago, and also in the last 3 months have increased by 1.19%. So what I'm seeing is a recurring theme that property prices in York are still on the up, and it's still a very good market to be operating in. This next table is or bar chart. This is over. It's like similar to the other graph, showing what types of property are selling in York over a more contained period. Again, your green being detached, yellow being your terraced homes. Semi-detached, red being your terraced, and then your blue being your flats. Seemingly across the year, the properties again that sell the most are your terraced and your semi-detached homes. Next, I went into looking at the selling times. So, interestingly, the properties that seemingly sell the best or sell the quickest are your terraced and semi-detached, and the ones that seemingly take probably an extra 50% time to sell are your flats. And that, I would imagine that would be indicative of a lot of flats being leasehold, in which case there may be complications in the conveyancing process. Again, I've gone into further granularity, and you've got the number of bedrooms that seem to be selling, and what properties sell quickly in terms of the number of bedrooms. Seemingly, it's your 2 to 3 bed properties in York. All of this I might add is York centric. So and that's it. This for me was a bit of an anomaly actually. I was a bit surprised by your 5 beds, but definitely the 2 and 3 beds seemingly 2 and 3 beds semi-detached and terrace properties are selling quicker. Further granularity, we have I've got to break it down by price bracket, and actually, again, your properties between value £1 to £300,000 seem to be selling the quickest. So, indicative of this data, we would illustrate that your 2 to 3 bed terraced and semi-detached properties for in the region of about £100,000 to £300,000 seem to be selling the quickest in York.